one of the great things that we have going for us, I think, this year is bringing back several of our key players from last year's team, including our starting 5 offensive linemen coming back, and really the 2 top reserve O linemen coming back. We got Corey Connor, our 1,000-yard rusher, coming back. Our top receiver, Xavier Henderson, coming back, and we're excited about that. And defensively, hired a new defensive coordinator, Tyson Veit from Iowa State. He showed up this past spring, and will bring a great wealth of experience in playing defense in the Big 12. And so hopefully it'll help ourselves there. We feel like special teams wise, I feel like we have a great squad coming back as well with Mason Fletcher, who's here today, one of the best punters in the country. And so hopefully we'll be able to put a much better product on the field and compete in the Big 12. But again, we're excited for this second year and looking forward to playing all the new teams that we have in this league. Did many tests and come to find out that he did have some blood clots in his lungs. Fortunately for Dante, there was nothing else. Everything else is healthy, it's hard, no other blood clots. And so right now, working with the medical team, he actually is back with our team, working out. Started last week. He has been with our team yesterday and today. So he will continue to work out all summer. Hopefully, we're taking it day by day, but hopefully as we progress throughout the summer and head into fall camp, that he will be available to play and available to go. I know he wants to. He's such an incredible young man. But I think we'll take this day by day and we'll see where it's at. But obviously the hope is that he'll be able to play for us this fall and hopefully play at a high level. He is from Cincinnati. I went to high school there, grew up there. Has been a huge part of our program for many years. He's one of our outstanding leaders on our team. And so he would have been here had he not been dealing with this. And I think with Dante, obviously the number one thing is his health. I mean, outside of football, I mean, we want to make sure he's going to stay healthy and live a long, productive life. And so we'll see. Hopefully, with the technology that's out there, there have been a precedent with other players that have played with the same thing that he has, and including a player at West Virginia, I believe, last year. So I think hopefully he'll be able to go down that same road to be able to play and play at a high level. We struggled last year in secondary. We gave up a lot of plays. We were one of the worst teams giving up big plays in the country last year. We knew we had to shore up the back end, and those players that you mentioned that we brought in, most of those guys came into spring, so we were able to go through spring practice, those 15 practices, really learn the new defense and find positions for those guys. We feel like those guys certainly have helped us out. Did not give up those big plays, and they will help us in as we go throughout this season. It's a new scheme, so we all had to learn it, including returning players, but also all the guys that we brought in. But I think all total maybe 12 new DBs when you count the freshmen and the transfer guys. And so, the new defense now, we're basically playing with 5 DBs, 3 safeties, and 2 corners, and hopefully we'll put a much better product on the field to stop people. And you got to be able to win those close games. If you win those close games, you're sitting there, now you're bowl eligible last year. And so part of this all season was to keep the guys that were a part of those the teams that competed at a high level, like the Corey Connors and the Luke Candras and the guys that are here, and keep those guys, the Dante Corleones, and then add some guys to that will help that mix. And I think, having that connected team to be able to finish some of those games off. You're right, we went to Pitt, had a big win there on the road, went to Houston and had a big win. So take the things that we did good, and let's apply those this year. But we know in this league, from top to bottom, there's some outstanding football coaches and great players in this league. If you don't show up, you're going to get beat, and sometimes you're going to get beat bad. So you better bring it each and every week in this league with the kind of players and coaches that are week in and week out. The guys really demanded it. Our coaches, our strengths, everybody wanted it this all season. We knew it needed to be the hardest thing. We were not a very disciplined football team last year, and it cost us games. And so we implemented an all-season program. Was the most difficult program all season that I've ever seen and been through, and our players will attest to that. Hopefully that translates to some more success on the field. But what I know it has done is it made our guys tougher mentally. It's brought them together. And then to me, when you bring in that many new players, it needed to be that way. We finished 5th in the country in rushing against a lot of teams that knew we were going to try to run the football, and we were still able to do that. I think that bodes well for us. But to bring those guys back with that experience that they have, and also a couple backups that really, quite honestly, could be starters as well, that we're going to rely on those guys up front, and what it's going to do is hopefully take some pressure off the quarterback. The quarterback knows he doesn't have to make every play. He's got a great supporting cast with Corey Kiner, with some of the receivers and the tight ends that we have, and it'll certainly help take the pressure off of that guy. We want those guys to compete. People mentioned Brandon Sorsby. You got Samaj Jones that we signed as a true freshman that got to Cincinnati in January, and then you got Lichty. Lichty started 1 or 2 games for us last year and played a lot. So all 3 of those guys are competing, and we're going to see how it goes throughout camp. I think that they've been a great summer for those guys competing. And I tell you, it doesn't hurt to have several guys that can play at the quarterback position. So we all know that. So I think by the end of the camp, hopefully a week or week and a half before our first game, we'll be able to name a starter.
Dante, I'm probably as close to Dante as anybody on our team. And when I first heard it, I was blown away. I'd never really heard that. I didn't know what that meant. Then as you go down and start researching a little bit more, and you're hearing about some players that have gone through the same thing that are still playing, I was optimistic and hopeful. And then as we went and saw the doctors and we did some more research, and I think we're still trending toward that way. And I think the fact that he's healthy otherwise is a great sign. We love Dante, and obviously we want nothing more than his health, number one. Now, if he's able to play, then that's going to be awesome for him, because I know mentally that's what he wants. So, we're pulling for him.